Forest Hill today and hear the stories and voices of Madison's past, take a moment to really listen to those voices. Every story is different. Every person saw things a little bit differently. And I think you'll find that war, especially a civil war, is far more complicated than you ever imagined. I'm William Blount. I was a Civil War orphan. My father died in a battle in the Civil War, and my mother didn't have the financial means to take care of me. And so I was moved to the Soldiers' Orphan Home, which was set up by Cordelia Harvey, who was the wife of the mayor. And once the war was over, she had the hospital made into a orphanage for all the children who were orphaned by the war. I was 12 when I died. Records are foggy. All the nurse wrote in her log was that it was hot outside and I was sick for a day.
I'm Emma Billow, and I don't know how I died, but I was like bedridden for like 3 years. I was 11 when I died.
And this is your teddy bear?
Yep.
And this is your little gravestone, huh?
Mm-hmm.
These men died fighting for a cause they believed in. The cause? Freedom. All personal beliefs aside, these men deserve respect and death. The first time I came here, I wept. It was hideous and wild from neglect, a place disregarded, uncared for, and so forgotten. I dropped to my knees and I began pulling out weeds until my hands were raw. And then I came back the next day, and the next, and the one following that, and the one after that, and for the next 10,000 days, I tended this earth. It's true. For 30 years, I tended it. I pushed rocks aside. I planted hedges to keep out the cold winds. I built walls. I planted hazelnut trees here so that children may come and pick the nuts and fill this area with their laughter. Or maybe the neighborhood boys and birds might fill those trees just as those yellowhammers certainly filled the longleaf pines back home. The hazelnut trees are gone now. Time sees an end to all these things.
Did you just tell me who you are?
Alice Whitney Waterman. I came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, north of the northern states, and when I found out about this Confederate rest here and how disregarded it was, I came and took care of it for 30 years. That's pretty much my story.
And then you asked to be buried here.
And then I asked to be buried here among my boys.
Albert T. Lamson, farmer of strawberries, 107th New York Infantry Brigade, soldier, officer, prison breaker-outer, eater of winter berries and tree bark, friend of William Shelton and Edward Sills, marrier of Miss Flora Janet Gorham, or Nettie.
On the third day, we marched south. The guards offered us parole, but I refused to take it, so for the next 18 months, I was a prisoner of war. The first 10 months of my confinement were spent at the Libby in Richmond, Virginia. It was there that I learned bribes could go a long way in getting food and other necessities. Anything could be smuggled in. After Libby prison, I was moved to Danville, Virginia, and later to Macon, Georgia, where I spent 3 months in the stockade at Fort Oglethorpe. Every place was worse than the one prior. For a brief time, I had hope of release when, after Macon, I was moved along with 500 other prisoners to Charleston, South Carolina, and the Union troops were moving on the city. Unfortunately, the rebels removed us from the city and imprisoned us at Camp Sorghum in Columbia. And any thoughts I had of rescue were destroyed. It was then I made up my mind to escape. I would rather die trying to taste freedom than of malnourishment and disease inside the prison walls. On October 23rd, 1864, I and 2 friends, William Shelton and Edward Sills, began our escape.